Oh, hello. It's been a long time. Oh, man. Well, I just thought, you know, now that I'm officially licensed pharmacist, thank God, the one thing I always said I would do would be to make a video just telling my experiences about not just pharmaceutical, but telling my experiences when it comes to the exams, like the NAPLEX and the MPJEs. Because you have to take a law exam for every state you want to practice in. And I always told myself when I was fully licensed, I would make a video, and I'm making a video. So this video is going to be about the MPGE, and I'm going to just say it right now, that exam is a bitch. You could ask any pharmacist, they will tell you the exact same thing. It is an awful exam. Awful exam. And so a lot of people, and this is me included, we'll take the NAPLEX and that's the one we'll be worried about. And we won't really put too much stock into the MPGE, but holy crap. I mean, you really should. You really should put stock into the MPGE. That's the exam you have to worry about. The NAPLEX, you have 4 years of foundation to build on. 4 years of foundation that it's there. You just need to recollect it. The MPGE, on the other hand, you'll have like 1 semester of law. That's it. And so that's the biggest thing. Remember, don't overlook this exam. This exam it's pretty tough. It's pretty tough. So the one big thing I would say is know your federal law well. Like, go through the DAA manual for pharmacists. Make sure you know those. You know that, because that's like a good chunk of it. Like, and for federal law, that'll be like DEA registrations, renewal, what's required in so and so form, and stuff like that. That's all what's considered. That's all like federal law, and that stuff is relatively easy. And the way I would approach it is know your federal law and then know what's different from the state law. Because state law is different from federal law. Like, and when you're in, like, for example, in Illinois, pseudoephedrine is Schedule 5, not a scheduled drug in federal law. Another difference in federal law, uh, controlled 2 substances don't have an expiration date. Illinois, 90 days. They're only good for 90 days. So that's another thing. Like, make sure you can tell the differences between those two. What's the difference between federal law and state law? Like, what's the difference between the two? What's different for them? Don't try not to get that confused. And so another piece of advice is make sure you know your state law inside and out. And when I say state law, I mean everything, every tiny detail. Make sure you know it, not just know it, but make sure you can apply it to whatever crazy ass situation you can think of. Whatever crazy ass situation you can think of. It's not just enough to know definition, to know what this means, or know what this means or that means. You need to know how to apply this stuff, because they will ask you some of the craziest shit on that exam, and you're gonna have to figure out what's the best answer. How are you gonna answer this? You're gonna have to figure that out. And trust me, it's not always gonna be there. It's not straightforward at all. It's not. And so just keep that in mind, because trust me, you will ask the craziest shit. And now the exam, MPGE exam, I mean, itself, you get your multiple choice, you get your, like, select all the above, and you get your dreaded K-type questions. And it's practice, like statutes and licensure stuff, but a lot of it's going to be pharmacy practice. And I'm going to tell you this right now: when you get to that exam, you will not see a straightforward question. If you will see about 5 straightforward questions, maybe, if you're lucky, but you're not going to see very many straightforward questions that ask definitions. In fact, let me. Here's a book. What's a good example? Oh, okay. Here's a good one. Just looking at this book, they'll ask, when does a dispenser have to, like, what form does a narcotics treatment program need to fill out in order to register for the DEA? That's a very simple, simplistic very simple, simplistic question, like a definition question, you're maybe gonna get, you know what I mean? Or like, what else is there? What else? This is from a book, by the way, that I studied off of. I mean, what else can I say? What schedule is so and so drug? You know, you know what I mean. So you only get maybe 5 straightforward questions, if that. That's it. You're not gonna get very much. And I'm just saying that these questions that I'm just making up those questions off the top of my head. I did not see those are not exact questions I saw on MPG. I'm just making off the top of my head. Those are like the most straightforward questions. And so for me, I took the Illinois MPGE, and I used what is called Dr. Rickard's packet. He was actually the law professor who taught in my school. You know what I mean? He was actually the law professor who taught in my school. So, and he has a review packet for the state of Illinois that has all the stuff that you need to know. And I also use this, but when I first took the exam, I wasn't expecting it to be as difficult, so I failed the first time. I failed by literally one freaking point, and I pretty much lost my, I lost my crap. Like, I failed by 1 point, one measly percentage point. And so when I saw that, I was so angry. I was like, okay, I'm gonna murder this exam. And so I was a lot more serious, because the first time I was like, yeah, okay, whatever. But I was a lot more serious. I read his packet like crazy. I also bought this book from rxpharmacist.com. This has like 240 additional questions, and which has really helped me, because I thought that I studied well, but I didn't do enough practice questions. And so that's another piece of advice. Make sure you do your practice questions. Make sure you can get as many practice questions as you can get a hold of. That will help you prepare you for the type of questions you're going to see in the long run, too. But that's what I did. And then my second attempt, I passed with a 79. Still not great, but no one will ever come out with that exam scoring 90s. Not that I ever heard of. And so I passed. So I raised it 5 points, 5 percentage points. But yeah, if you want some advice, like, one, make sure you do as many practice questions as you possibly can. There is a website called MPJE. There's rxpharmacist.com to sell mock exams. Try to get your hands on practice questions, because that will help you out so much. Like I know these practice questions, and like going through Rickard's packet and those practice questions really help, because I felt that's the one thing I was choppy on. So make sure you do your practice questions. 2, know definitions of words. Know the difference between what may means, what shall means. Like, stuff like that. Know the definitions. May means it's optional. You can do it, but you don't have to. Shall means it's mandatory. You have to do it this way. You know the definitions between words like that. 3, read the questions. Read everything word by word, answer by answer. Read everything carefully. One word can change the entire dynamic of the question, the entire dynamic of a question, an answer choice. One word can completely make it false or completely make it true. Make sure you read every word and every word. 4 or 3, I don't know what I'm on. Take your damn time on that exam. Take your time. The first time I did, when I failed, I got done an hour and a half early. And I feel because I went faster, I didn't read as carefully as I should have read, and I didn't read as carefully as I should have, and I probably missed something. So take your time. My second attempt, when I passed it, I was very deliberate, very slow, very deliberate. I got out of there with plenty of time. I got out of there like 15 minutes early. So I wasn't worried about time, but I was very deliberate. Take your time. There are going to be questions that you may have to deliberate a little bit more on, and there are going to be other questions that you may know right away, and there are going to be questions you're just going to be like, "What the hell is this?" You're going to be like, "What the WTF is this?" And you're just going to come out of left field. Just answer and move on to the best of your ability. So that's another one. And the other question is, if you're uncertain of an answer choice, if you're uncertain of answer choices of a question, And you can mirror, and a lot of times you're gonna find that you're gonna be able to narrow it down to like two answers, but you can only pick one, and you're gonna find that you can only narrow it down. My piece, just remember this piece of advice: be wary of the questions that have absolutes. Like questions that I have absolutes, like you must do this, you shall do that. Every pharmacist must do so and so. This is required by all hospitals or whatever. Be wary of those type of questions, of those type of answers. If you don't know the question, if you do not know the question, be wary of those, because that's a very strong statement. Just remember that. And then the other thing, and this comes from my law professor, that for that semester, what he told us is like, remember, answer questions that best protect the public, that best provide care for the patient, and that err on the side of discipline. That's it. And so that's my advice for the MPGE. Pray, do not take this lightly, because I know there's 50 states. Did you have a chance? But do not take this lightly. It is a tough exam. And you're going to be walking out of there like, what in the hell was that? So I hope that helped. Thank you very much.